Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Us People Show. I'm your host, Savia Rocks, and today I am actually abundantly humbled to have Michelle John here with me, who is a recording artist, a beautiful singer, and has the utmost humble and positive energy that I love to have on the show. She's laughing in the background, so I'm going to bring her on. Michelle,
Oh,
thank
that's
you
so
so
cool.
much for taking the time to come on the Us People Show. How are you?
I love it. Well, you know what? Let's start with laughter and let's end that way as well.
Exactly. This is exactly what I like. As long as the energy is high and you're on a really good vibration,
We're
then
good.
anything is possible. And the
We're good, man.
conversation will just flow naturally. Michelle, thank you so much for bringing your energy to the show. I love it.
Listen, I hope this ain't no gang signals, but that's how I feel right now.
Listen, you got your goddess,
I got my goddess tea, and you know what? I've been repping it, but it just keeps me connected to what I'm doing, and I just feel grateful. Like your girl's got her own T-shirt. Do you know what I'm saying?
Listen, I
It
believe that
feels good.
things happen in your life for a reason, no matter the challenge. And I know we're going to get into this conversation somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
Everything happens to us for a reason. Everything is on purpose. It teaches us something. It teaches us strength. Even before I go into that, I'm going to go into my first question because I would love everyone to know more about you, Michelle. So my first question for you is, could you tell about yourself, where you grew up, and and how that influenced you to be the person who you are today?
So the first thing I would say is and I grew up in Peckham,
Yeah, I know
and
that.
I grew up on the estate, and a beautiful array of people from all different cultures, places,
Yep,
and it was like a community. Do you know what I mean?
yep.
And I'm from Caribbean descendants, and so I had strong women around me,
That's the one.
right? From day one. And from my grandmother, from my mother. And I just saw strength. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so very young, ended up being invited to church as a very young child. And I went along to a black Pentecostal church.
Oh, that it's like a party when you go to a black Pentecostal church. I've never I've never heard anyone say to me, Michelle, that they've gone to a Pentecostal church and they end up sleeping. There
Right.
is no way.
It was not dead. That's what I'm going to
Yeah,
say from the off. But going to church was like the introduction of like music.
yeah.
And that's the one thing with like a Pentecostal church. Before you know it, you're in a choir. Do you know what I mean? Music is such an important part of the worship and the expression of praise.
Yeah.
And I was just one of those children that loved music anyway. I always, as a baby, I'd hear music and I'd just start moving or singing or there's too many stories that I've been told of me just like breaking out in song. So music was always my thing.
Yep.
And so singing at church, you'd have your little song book, which was special. Do you know what I mean? It was your little song book. You could write your little notes in there, do your little colouring in there. But the songs just captured me from very, very young. And like a lot of people's grandmas, my nan was someone who she sang in the kitchen while she was washing the rice and the peas.
Oh my gosh, you went there.
You understand? She was that lady that was, she would sing. And so there was singing everywhere. And so that was really like the start. That was the start. Peckham.
See, I love that. This is what I mean. Your background says so much. You know what? The one thing I love about all of our backgrounds, regardless of where we grow up, regardless if it's a good background or not so good background,
Yeah.
The one thing I always say to people is up to us. We make the choice of how our life is going to be. But the influence around us, like you say, your grandma, my
Yeah,
grandma was a massive influence to me.
yeah,
And she always said, you can always, even though you make a choice and you feel like it's the wrong choice, you can always make another choice that will counteract that other
right,
choice.
right.
So I love the fact that you have that background around you. You
Yeah,
have those strong women, and that brings the energy out of you for you to be the strong
right.
woman that you are today.
And then, like you said, like some of us have had challenging backgrounds. The start of
Definitely.
life hasn't been maybe all that we hoped it could have been, right?
Yeah,
But that doesn't mean like we can't then create something. We can't take it somewhere else. Do you see what I'm saying?
exactly.
And I think, you know, especially with, as I said, you know, my grandmother was part of that Windrush generation. They
Yes,
came to the UK, they made something out of nothing. They
that's
had
true.
nothing. So that's in us to make something out of nothing already. That's been demonstrated to us. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
And so I'm a big believer in sometimes taking the broken pieces, the bad
yeah,
things, and flipping that thing and turning it into power.
yep.
Like you don't get to break me. You don't get to keep me stuck here.
You know what, Michelle? That's true that you say that. I always say to people, you give authorization to what
I
makes you
love
happy,
that.
what makes you sad. So if someone says something to you, for example, that is not of your liking, the only way it will be not of your liking to your emotions is if you allow it to infect
Yeah,
your spiritual being of who you are as a person. But
yeah,
you can always override. Yeah, people are always going to say things that we're not going to like. But usually, 9 times out of 10, I always say, how you treat me is a reflection of yourself. How I treat you is a reflection of myself. So, therefore, anybody who says anything
yeah,
that is not to your liking,
yeah.
wash it over your shoulder and move straight on. That's what I always say.
You know, like they say that like words are like food,
Yeah, they are.
right? So just like a meal, you select what you want to eat. Choose what you want to eat. Choose what you want to digest. Choose what's good for you. Choose what's good for your body. Choose what's good for your spirit. Choose what's good for your
Your
mind.
mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
So pick your food, man.
Yep. And let it be healthy.
Right.
So, the one question I do love to ask people is, can you define yourself as a person, but also who do you see when you look in the mirror? But on the flip side of that question, has there ever been a time, Michelle, where you have looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back at you? How did you manage to go from a person that you might not have necessarily liked seeing the vision of to becoming the person that you wanted to see the reflection of?
So there was definitely a long period of life where I looked in the mirror and I didn't like
Yeah.
what I saw looking back at me. And actually, like, there was a long time I couldn't look in the mirror. Don't get me wrong, get the hair done, put on your mascara, out, right? When that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah.
about looking into your own eyes.
Mhm.
And there was a long period of time where I looked into my own eyes and I could see beyond the mascara, beyond the eyeshadow,
Yep.
sadness, pain, brokenness, right? And then we go through life. And I think at different points in our life, we define ourselves in different ways.
Yeah.
And at some point in my life, I was broken. I was hurt. I saw someone who was damaged. I didn't see something that I loved.
Yeah.
I'm saying I didn't look at myself with love and with patience and with kindness, right?
Mm.
And then another part of my life, I looked at myself and all I saw was I was someone's mother. And that's what I need. And actually, I needed that at that time
Yeah.
because being someone's mother validated me, gave me a validation I didn't have. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And there were times I looked at myself, I was a wife and I was in that serving role. And that's what defines me. And that's how I saw myself. Do you understand? But through all of that, I always was looking at myself as something for what other people, what my situation, how that defines me, or do you know what I mean? Or how I show up in the world. And now when I look at myself, it's so funny. I said this the other day, and I said, it's like I can see me, right?
The real you.
Me, like I've shown up.
It's like standing out of your body, but then looking at you.
Yeah. And I see like, and I think what happens, the conscious decision I made was to start to speak to myself with kindness.
There you go. That's
right?
the one.
And start to treat myself with a bit more kindness and a bit more patience, like I would do to people I love.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel that in doing that, I started to come forward. Right. And then it starts to impact other points of your life. And then you go, well, hold on, I speak to me with kindness.
Yeah.
So I can't have you in my life because you don't speak to me with kindness.
Exactly.
So when you learn that, come back, holla. Do you see what I'm saying? And then it affects your friendships. It affects relationships. It affects how you show up in the world. It affects work. It affects how I sing my songs.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've got the right. I own this. This is mine. This is me. I'm showing up for me now. I showed up for you. I showed up for family. I showed up for my son. I showed up for in the best way that I could. I'm not saying I got it right all the time, but in this season, Mish is showing up for Mish.
You need to.
Right? So I've forgotten like the rest of the questions because I was going in.
So the first part is defining yourself. The first part is I think it's because there's so many within the one question. So the first part is defining yourself. The second part is who you see when you look in the mirror. The third part is what does your reflection say back to you, but also when there was a time on the flip side of that, has there been a time where you didn't like yourself, and how did you manage to get to the part where you do love yourself?
And as I said, yes, there's been a long part of my life where I didn't like myself. I wouldn't say like, because I think that's strong, but I definitely didn't place value on myself.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do that.
I was trying my best. I was trying my best to like me and to love me, but I was caught up and lost in unworthiness and shame and guilt and trying to show up and serve others. And I thought by doing that, I was going to be happy and I was going to be okay. And I was just getting more and more lost.
Yeah. See, it's like you dig yourself into this hole of serving other people.
Yeah.
And serving other people, you feed your energy to them. They continuously take from you and you're left drained.
And you become all things to all people. And now, listen, I want to say, like, a lot of times it was my choice. It wasn't that I was because that was how I was getting validation. So I'm not saying, oh, people just took advantage. Don't get me wrong. Yes, there was some of that, but there was much of that was me giving myself away because I thought that's what I needed to do in order to
feel like somebody.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I had to learn that, hold on, I need to reserve and hold something back for me, right? And you asked me, how do I define myself? And I'm just going to be real with you. I don't have a cute answer for that, right?
That's a good thing.
I'm still working that out. But essentially, I feel that I'm a good soul. And I feel that I'm learning to forgive myself of mistakes or decisions that I made that might not have been the best decision for me.
Yeah.
That sometimes wasn't the best decisions for the people that I love. And I'm learning to forgive myself. I want to grow. I want to be better. And I just feel like I'm just a growing soul, but the core of me is light and love and laughter and
You know it's laughter.
you know what I mean? And song.
Yes.
And I feel that is like how I feel the most me
I like that.
is in my expression of whatever song I sing.
See, this is which actually leads to the next question. I love asking this. How do you believe that music serves
Woo!
universal language that transcends barriers and connects people on a deeper level?
For one word,
Mhm.
healing.
Yeah, that is so true.
I just feel like music, and maybe this is just what it is to me right now at this point in my life, but I just feel like music is like healing. It's water. It's pure. It's like it's a drink. It's
Ooh.
do you know what I mean? It just like you know, there's a very well-known beverage that says it refreshes the parts.
Oh. Making music like an advert.
But I really do. I feel like music is just like, we all know we've got those songs we go to when, you know, when you want to light the candles.
That's the one.
And you want to say, hey, boo. There's a certain playlist.
Yep, there is.
The music, it creates a right?
Why?
And then there's, you know what, girl, I need to get up and I need to go and do this interview and I need to get on this. So there's a music that's like, let's go. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a different kind of drink. It's a different kind of energy that's required. Like, feed me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Feed your soul. That's the
Feed
type
your
of
soul. So I just feel like music is just like, it's just like healing. And I don't know, it's all kinds of expressions that we need for different times when we need it. Do you know what I mean?
Where was the best chance that one of the best chances that you will always remember that helped you become a recording artist?
Oof. Jeez. I mean, I had to just So it's very funny you should say that, because doing this album has rolled back the memory, right? And so my album is called God Is.
Yes.
And it's a cute title, right?
It's also really powerful as well, because it all depends on how you, like you were saying before, words are powerful and how we articulate ourselves within those words.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Right. So for me, and this is why my memory has been opened, because what I remember is when I was about 10 years old in my church, the choir sang a song called God Is.
Ah, okay.
Right? It's actually a song. And I was sitting there, I was about 10 years old, and the lady who sang the lead on this song, my God, something about how she sang and how the choir sang, it was like, it hit me. And something in me was like,
triggered. Yep.
Right? There was like an awakening. There was like, you know, sometimes when you listen to a song and you start crying because it hits you deep.
Yes.
Right? And with everyone can probably pull up a song that makes them, always gets them.
Yeah.
So for some reason, this was the song. And it just switched something on in me. And so when I was feeling like it was time, and you know, you get that feeling, that sense.
Yeah.
And we call it all different things. Intuition. I've been calling it lately the nudge. You get that nudge.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Right inside you going, hey, you need to make
time. Yeah, it's time.
You know what? It's time for you to leave. You know what? It's time for you to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
When I got the nudge, that was the song that came, and the memory. It reminded me of what happened when I was 10. And so that was the moment where it was like, One, there's something about God, right?
Mm.
That switched on in me. And also there was something about the way that woman sang. Her name's Marjorie Barrows. And this is, remember, I'm a big woman, you know.
I love the way you said that.
I'm a big woman. I don't even want to put my age out there. If you know, you know. But it's a long time ago. So imagine all these years later, I say 30 plus years later, right?
Yep.
I had my album launch. I had a concert to launch the album a couple of weeks ago. And do you know that that woman was at the launch concert?
What?
When I say it was full circle,
That's manifestation right there.
like, no joke. She was there. She was in the room, right? So that was, again, the moment where it was like, I'm going to sing. I don't know who, how, where, when, what, but I just know, like, I'm going to sing like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna have that impact. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep. When it comes from your gut when you're singing.
Yeah. So thank God for that day, man.
The way you say it, it's like, yep, I needed that. Yep.
Because sometimes you forget and you get caught up with life and what you're doing and da 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 da. And sometimes you've got to be reminded of the start and how you felt and attach back to that.
You know what, Michelle? It's true that you say that, because when you
I'm having a
go
swig,
back
by the
no,
way.
go for it. That's why I love it, because it's natural. When you go back to the start of where you come from, it also humbles you as a person as well, to make you realize that even if you were in a bad situation, say 30 years ago, where you may have had, even in your listen, kids go through bad stuff all the time,
Yeah.
you know, in families.
Yeah.
Even if you're going through something bad and you hear that song and then it uplifts you in that way, and then you remember it
Please God.
30, 40 years on,
Yeah.
it's for a reason.
100%.
It's for a reason. And most probably in your past life, you've heard that song or you've heard something similar in there. So it makes so much sense that you said that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real. It's real.
So I want to get into one thing I love about artists is writing.
Woo!
Because writing is a massive articulation of who you are,
Yeah.
what you're feeling, where your life is at that particular moment,
Yeah.
and how you want your energy and your emotions to transcend for
Yeah.
everybody else to receive them. So,
Yeah.
Michelle, my question is for you. Where is your mindset when you decide to write a song and put it down? And how are you emotionally connected to it when you're writing it?
So a lot of my greatest songs and when I say greatest songs, what I mean is some of the songs that have had the most impact, where people have gone,
Yep.
that's my song, right? She's singing my song. Do you know what I mean?
And when you stand up and you feel it in your soul.
Yeah. A lot of those songs have come to me in my sleep when I'm dreaming.
Do you know what? Oh my gosh, I think I manifested in my head. No, this is mad. I was actually going to ask you, do your songs come in your dreams? And you just said it.
Yes, sis. Go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100% in my dreams. And so what happens is I've learned the hard way that when it comes and I wake up, immediately I reach for the phone, voice note, and I record it immediately. And what happens is you have to trust that flow.
Yes, you do.
And then there's been times where it's come, and this is how it works for me. I get the words and the melody, right? So I don't need to wonder, well, how am I supposed to sing it? What's the melody? I've got it. So then when I now take it to people, I take it with the words and the melody.
Yes.
And what I've learned over the years is that, you can work with people very incredibly talented people,
Yeah.
and they might be hearing something different in their mind.
Yes.
Which could be great, could be cool, but it's not what you were given.
Yeah.
So what I've learned is to trust what I've been given.
Yep.
And it ain't going to be for everyone. And someone will go, why didn't, you could have put that beat on it, or you could have put guitar on it, or you could have, but this is what I was given. And I'm learning to trust that. And so that's how a lot of my songs come. They come to me when I've slept. Now, sometimes I've been cute, I've been tired, and I've gone back to sleep. I've gone, no. When I wake up, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh man, yep. And you're like, oh man, it was good as well.
Fully gone. So there are many voice notes here where I sound dusty and crusty, but I can pick out the melody and go, okay, it's there. It's there. So that's how a lot of my songs come.
Let's talk about God Is, because I want to know more about God Is, the album God Is. I want people to know, the direction that you went in with the album, the songs in the album. I want you to talk more about it. So let's talk about God Is.
So God Is, as I said, was like the nudge. And I just, because I was working on another album, right?
Oh.
And so that album has literally been parked up. Been parked up.
Did it?
Because it was like, the time is now.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, I don't have a good answer. I don't have a logical answer to tell you. I just know that the nudge was becoming strong, and I've gone with it, right?
Right.
Look where we're here, right?
Exactly.
So with God Is, essentially what it was for me in my spirit was stop. It's time to say thank you. It's time to say thank you. It's time to go back to the beginning. And let me tell you, sometimes going back to the beginning ain't fun.
No, it can be painful.
It can be painful because maybe there was things that you wanted to leave behind, people that you wanted to leave behind.
Yeah.
Maybe when you go back, people might only ever see you as little Savia. You understand what I'm saying?
True. It's true.
They might not be ready to see the grown version of you, or the woman who's been through experience now. Right? And sometimes people can be ready to welcome you back and put you back in the box. Here she is. Do you know what I mean? All right, get back in there.
Yep.
Right? And since I've been there, I've been around the world. I've had experiences. I've experienced life. I've had experiences I don't want to even tell you about. You understand?
Yeah.
Right? And so going back can be, bring up feelings of pain and anxiety and fear and all of those things, right? But I just believe that at this time it was what my soul needed to do.
Yeah, it was ready.
I was ready, and I wanted to go back and honor where I've come from, because it's important. It's important to honor. It's important to remember, right? Yeah. And I don't owe you anything, but I honor and I love and I respect and I appreciate where I've come from.
Yeah.
It wasn't about me staying stuck. It was about me taking what my grandmother did and running with it. It was about taking what my mother did and her experiences and running from it, and then taking them to the next level so that my child has something more. And then it's for him to take it to the next level. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
I go back with the humility, but also with the experience that me a big woman. You understand? But I'm here to give honor. To people like Marjorie, to people that were there at the beginning, to people like Basil Mead from the London Community Gospel Choir, people like Lawrence Johnson, people like some of the women that I used to sing with. Do you understand? That I watched thinking, oh man, she's amazing. I could never do what she does. And then God's going, hold on, you don't know what I've got for you.
Ah, see, you don't know what I got planned for you.
Don't box yourself in. You don't know what I've got for you. That's hers. You don't need to watch that. Do you understand? I've got this for you. You carry on. And I go, wow, look what God did for me. I wasn't even expecting it. I didn't have the expectation. I didn't have the desire. Like, I just wanted to sing.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I just wanted to serve with my voice. It was never about, oh, I want to sing 10 million records. I mean, if we sell 10 million records, wow, amazing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yep. So going back to my roots, the beginning of me, and going, look, God's kept me.
Full circle.
Full circle. And how many people don't get to go back and say thank you? Right?
That's actually quite true. How many people just don't go back and say thank you?
Right. So, and some people might not, they might not want your thanks. They might not want to see you back. What are you doing back here?
I've heard that a few times.
Right. But that's what the nudge. And so I was like, Lord, this is an offering of thanksgiving.
Yeah.
This is me going back and acknowledging that 10-year-old girl God is. So I had to do that song.
See.
If there was no other song on that project, it had to be that. Do you understand what I mean? And so other songs on the album there's hymns on there that I grew up singing, right? And there's a couple of hymns in there that my grandmother sang in the kitchen when my nan wasn't very well. My nan passed away a couple of years now. When my nan wasn't very well, and I was there looking out for her, I spent time with her. These are songs I'd sing with her. These are the songs that she would remember. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. So it's very testimonial to me. It's my journey. It's my truth. And you know what? I've been saying on the socials, like, if you buy it, I'm blessed. If you don't buy it, I'm blessed. Mm-hmm. If you love it, amazing. If you don't, amazing. But guess what? I'm telling you, like, there's a song on there for someone.
There's a song on there for everyone.
Song on there for someone that I know. That much I'm confident in. There's a song on there for someone. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? You know when you're talking about your grandma?
Yeah.
It just because my grandma passed too, and she brought me up. So
yeah,
I understand exactly where you're coming from. But my granny made me laugh because when she used to cook in the kitchen and she used to sing, she used to run after me for disturbing her, or trying to taste the food before it was
right. Right.
It's the beauty of just having them there.
Yeah, man.
And their legacy. I always say this.
What they left in us.
It's the legacy.
Right.
You have the legacy of them.
And
inside you.
They deposited something in us.
Exactly. That's it. So,
do you know what I mean?
Every tear that you have, every sigh, every piece of sadness, there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. Embrace it. Embrace that, because that's actually love.
100%.
That's love tenfold over. And 100%. I always say to people, that's one of the most beautiful things that you can have, is the fact that I always say to people, I would rather have someone in my life and they pass, that I was blessed to have them, rather than not having anyone at all.
Yeah, 100%.
And that, for me, that's a magnificent thing. So I know you can resonate with that and relate to it.
Yeah, 100%. And so, my grandparents, they're in the songs, they're in it, they're in the album.
To be fair, they possibly were standing right next to you when you were singing it,
Sing up.
Yeah, put your back straight.
Oh my God.
It's just you know that they're there. You
Yeah.
100% know. So another one for me is we all define success in a different way.
Mm.
People define that success by just waking up in the morning. Some it's passing their driving test. Some it's, overcoming abuse. How would you define success in your world?
Ooh, geez, that's a really, really good question. Like, man, do you know what one thing I would say is that, and I thought about this today because this DJ that I worked with 26 years ago,
Wow.
he posted one of the tracks that we did, and it was a house track, right? Sorry, it was a garage track. Those of you that remember garage,
Yep.
and right. Let me stay focused. And he posted it today, and it was such a moment because it was 26 years ago. It was the same year I gave birth to my son. I've got one child, my boy. And when I think about like that woman 26 years ago and me now, the thing that has been my success is I never gave up. I never gave up on me. And I showed up. I did the hard work. And I just think, do you know what? I'm blessed, right? We're all blessed. God has blessed me. But I did the work. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I do.
I pushed through. And I don't say that in a me way. I don't want it to come across like that. But there's something that is required from us. And sometimes we sit here and we're waiting for the phone to ring, and we're waiting for someone to believe in us, and we're waiting for someone to sign us off, or someone to co-sign us, or someone to put us on, right? And sometimes God's going, well, hold on. I gave you the gift.
Use it.
Right? And I want to really encourage someone, like, don't wait on someone to believe in you, or wait for like someone to get behind your vision. Use what you have. Send the email, make a phone call, get on your phone, do a video, like post it. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you've got to demonstrate that belief in yourself, and then people will get on board your belief. For the belief I feel will become contagious.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Impact others, and they'll go, wow, I love what you're doing. How can I be of service? How can I help you? How can we be a team? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So hard work, showing up, to me, that has been a big part of my success.
See, I like that. And just by the passion
Cool.
of how you say it says a lot. I always say it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Right.
And that will impact a person.
Yeah.
If I was to say to you, Michelle, if there was one song that was the soundtrack of your life, what song would you choose, and why would you choose that?
That is impossible.
I love when people say that to me.
Literally impossible. I tell you why, because I could start the morning, and let's say, for example, this is one of my morning songs, right?
Go ahead.
Happy to share. And it's a gospel song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a song called He's Able. God is able to do just what he said he will do. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. Don't give up on God, 'cause he won't give up on you. He's able. It's great. So it makes me, when I start the day, especially when I'm like, boy, how am I gonna deal with what I've got to do today? That song just gets me, whew, all right, let's go, right? And then come lunchtime, I don't know, man, I might need a reefer to show up and encourage me, like, to how am I going to deal with this meeting I've got tonight? I feel like I'm getting ready to go into battle. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like there's different songs for
Different
you know,
songs
different
for different reasons, different seasons.
see
Yep.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know? And so that is impossible.
Well,
It's
you did choose one.
I chose one. That's one of my morning songs, definitely.
No, you did choose one. So, because usually I'm like people choose 2 or 3 because it is hard. It's hard,
Man.
and even the way you grasp it is the soundtrack of your life.
Yeah.
It's I
It's,
love it though because it says so much about the song that you choose.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
that's a go-to. That's an absolute go-to.
it's a positive one as well because the words
Yeah.
brings light to you.
And it's he's able. So it means like,
It's like a healing song.
yeah, it's an encouragement. It means like God's able. So there's nothing. You
And
don't need to worry. Even if you're going through something that is tough, like you're able to come through it. It might not work out in the way that you hope. Hey, it might work out better than you hope, but you're gonna come through.
that's actually true. Okay, my next one for you. If I took you to a desert island,
Hey,
hey, hey, and I said to you, you're allowed to bring one musician, one
oh,
guest, and one president for 24 hours.
right. So say that again. One musician
One
and
musician, one activist, and
oh,
one president. I don't think you want to bring any prime ministers right now.
I'm gonna sidestep that one.
So you got one musician, one activist, and one president. Who would you choose?
So the first immediately when you said one musician, the person and this person has passed away, right? But they just had such an impact on me, and it was so special. Their history is phenomenal. And recently I've been reminded about like just how special they are. So the person's name, his name is Billy Preston,
Okay.
right? And he was a Hammond organ player that grew up in the church. And he was a child protege. He was discovered by, I think, Little Richard. So we're talking like the 50s,
Wow. Yeah.
right? And when he was about, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, 13 years old or something, he then went on to play for Ray Charles. He then went on to play for the Beatles, and he was known as the fifth Beatle.
I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Phenomenal, gifted. Now, there's some people that can play, but then there's people that are gifted. And to me, that's two different languages.
Yep.
I'm talking like gifted, meaning when they do what they do, it hits you. It's a soul thing. It's
Soul
like,
thing.
right? And I actually got to work with him in 2004. And I got to tour with him. And he wrote me a message. And I have the program. We were both on this tour with Eric Clapton, and he wrote in this book, he wrote a message to me. And he essentially said that, you know, you're very special, and you have something, like let God use you, right? And so that would be the musician. Like I would just love to spend a day with him, and we just go through songs, and he just play and I sing. That's it.
I'll make sure there's a band on the island.
Just make sure there's electricity for the Hammonds. That's all I ask for.
Make sure there's electricity.
Right? So he's phenomenal. So that was the first musician that I thought. And then activists, that's a tough one because, you know, we think of there's so many incredible people that we've lost, people that have impacted our world in unchangeable ways, right?
Yeah.
And but again, and this is just personal because of friendship and relationship. there's a lady called Annie Lennox, and
Yes.
I worked with Annie for a number of years, right? And you could call her a social activist. And there's been things that I was there for some of the things that she spoke about and that she fought for, and some of the causes and campaigns that she did for women and for HIV, for people in Africa. I mean, like, she's done so many things. And what it is that Annie is just such an incredible woman.
Yeah.
And she has a wealth of experience as a mother, as a woman in music. When you talk about someone who's passionate, when you talk about someone who has been outspoken and has fought for people in all different ways, and it doesn't even have to be things that I necessarily agree with, but just her passion as a person and how she's used her music to impact people. And, you know, she's been an inspiration to me. She's been a friend to me. She's been a supporter to me. And so a day or two, like not too long, but a day or two on a desert island with Annie, I can just imagine that we would have some really passionate conversations.
That would be pretty cool to watch, actually. You know, when two people get passionate, you're like, oh, this is getting heated, but you know it's getting heated for the right reasons.
But there's love and there's respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I see Annie as, like, you know, she's like a big sister in a way. Do you know what I mean? She's got a lot of wisdom and a lot of heart and passion and love. And I've experienced that firsthand. So, like, sort it out.
Just tell me sort it
out.
I'll sort it out, Michelle. I promise I'll sort it out. But you still got a president.
I don't know, man. Oh, that's a tough one.
You were like, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do this one.
So I'm gonna play it safe, right? But
okay,
also I'm gonna say this because this was a special thing for me. So one of the things I did with Annie Lennox was President Nelson Mandela had they would do this, he had a charity called 46664. And that was his prison number. And they had the charity and they did lots of concerts and many different events and campaigns to raise money and awareness for people that were impacted by the apartheid, and just great work. And he would do this annual concert. And so I went over to South Africa as part of Annie's band, as her backing singer, to be a part of this one of these events a few years ago. And we were actually invited to lunch to his house. Right, which was absolutely phenomenal, right? But I never personally had, I never had the time, or I wasn't given that personal, obviously that personal time with him, or do you know what I mean, or even to be able to ask him a question or anything like that. And so it was kind of so close but so far. Do you know what I mean? So maybe you can make that happen, Savia. Like that would be the president who will be like.
You know what? I think we can both make it happen. I think if we put our heads together, I know the people we know. I think we'll make it happen. No, no, for real. I'm not even joking. One thing I always say, I feel abundantly blessed by every single person that I meet. And my granny always said, every time God wants to bless you, he puts a person in front of you. So therefore, let's put 3 people in front of us and we'll make it happen.
Well, he has passed away.
Listen, we can go spiritual. Listen,
we can go that in my dream and go ahead, Michelle. Here I am. What do you want to ask me?
You know, sometimes people do come to us in our dreams just to give us a message. Just listen, you're all right. Don't worry about it. You're good.
It's
You
happened,
know?
man.
So I've only got literally 2 more for you, Michelle. I've enjoyed myself so much, I feel like going over.
Great.
But my second to last one is, when was the last time that you felt totally at peace with yourself?
Whoo! I feel like I'm in my peace season.
That's nice.
I feel like I'm in my peace season.
Mhm.
And like in recent times, that's how I feel. I feel peace in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, in my mind, and it's beautiful. And
Wow.
guess what? I deserve it. I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm not going to be, because what happens is people make you feel guilty for being in a good space,
That's actually true.
right? It's much more comfortable for people when you're like, you know, you're in a difficult time or you're in a struggle. And you know, if you post up a post on the social and it's like, oh, I'm going difficult, at like thousands of likes.
Yeah, but
You
when you
say
say
something
something, it's so
positive
true.
and it's like 12. But you know what I mean?
That's so true.
And I think sometimes we can be afraid to say, actually, I feel peace.
Happy.
I feel happy. I feel safe. I feel, for fear that it might change tonight. Do you know what I mean? But if something comes, I'm at peace with the fact that I'll be able to deal with it and I'll come through it. And whatever the lesson there is to learn, I'll learn it. And I'm going to keep it moving, but I'm going to protect my peace and I'm going to enjoy it.
You should enjoy it.
Full stop.
Listen, life, I always say to people, life is short. As much as we like to think it's long,
Yeah, man.
it's actually really short.
Yeah.
And I always say to people, you cannot make somebody else happy unless you make yourself happy
It's your
first.
responsibility.
Exactly,
Your
exactly
responsibility
that.
is yours. Stop giving it away.
That's exactly
Stop
that.
making people responsible for you.
You know, and I know that life changes all the time, but at the same time, your happiness should come first.
It's an inside job.
But like you say, you deserve it. You've worked hard for it. You
Come on.
deserve it. Embrace it. No, listen, no, seriously, because you're not going to come back in the same body twice.
No. No.
Unless God says, you made a mistake, come back and fix it.
No. No.
You know? So, what would you like your legacy to be in this world? And only when you feel, Michelle, like you have done enough in the world. If I said to you, Michelle, what would you like people to think of you? But what would you like your legacy to be in this world?
Whoo!
I love it when you do that.
That is real. So I think I just think I'm not sure that we can control what our legacy will be.
There you go.
Right? Because there are people that are committed to, maybe there's people that are committed to the old version of you. And so their legacy of you will be, well, she was like this and she said this to me. Right? And they'll stay in that. And that will be their song about you, right? And then there will be, for some people, it will be, when she was a little girl, she was funny. And do you see what I'm saying? And they're committed to.
Yeah, no, that's true.
You see what I mean? They're always going to see you in that way, right? And so what I would hope that part of my legacy would be that the songs or the way that I sang like encouraged people or made people feel strength or gave them a moment of feeling healing or feeling joy or feeling like somebody connected with them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I felt connection.
Yeah.
And maybe part of my legacy might be some of my songs. One of my songs labels says, am I good enough? And the answer to that question is yes, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
So I hope that maybe that song might be a legacy to someone. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like me with Marjorie all those years ago, someone might go, well, that song Labels was a turning point for me that made me go, actually, I am good enough. And they then shifted. They shifted their minds. They shifted their heart towards themselves, or they were able to leave a bad situation, or they were able to, that was the journey, their starting point of them loving themselves or accepting themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So I would hope that maybe something that I've done, and maybe also, maybe there might just been a conversation that I've had with someone that wasn't filmed, it wasn't on YouTube, where I may have just encouraged someone, or I might have said to them, you've got something, sis, you are good enough, crack on, come on, sing.
You know, that's actually really true. That's actually really, really true. I find it's always the things that nobody else sees,
Yeah,
our lives, that have the greatest
it
impact.
might not be all the shiny stuff, and the shiny stuff has been wonderful, and if that's impacted someone for the better, and that's been a positive thing, that's beautiful. And but there might just be something where, I don't know, I met someone in Sainsbury's and just said hi, and you smiled at someone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Or you just don't know. So
It's the small thing, yeah. It's the small things that matter.
I hope there's something.
No, there's more. That's more than something. That's
would
why
be,
I say the things that you do in the background, I think, have a long-lasting effect, because you never know what somebody's going home to or from.
yeah. Someone messaged me. I did an interview yesterday, and no, it was on Tuesday, and someone messaged me, they DM'd me, and they said that, and I said something in the interview like, you know, people would like to tell you that it's too late and all this rubbish, or you need to look a certain way, or you need to have this, or you need to have this degree, or you need to have done, you know, diva class 101 before you can sing, and all this stuff that people put on and tell you that you're supposed to do, right, in order for you to be who you already are.
Exactly.
Right? And I said that you just need to crack on. And sometimes we think about, oh, what am I supposed to do? Or we've got these dreams and we've got these things that, you know, one day I want to host a podcast. Okay. So you get on Amazon and you order yourself a podcast kit for £10.99 or whatever it is. And you start, am I right though?
Oh, it's true though.
Right? I want to be a singer. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't you go and sign up to an open mic night?
And just go in. Sometimes it's just free.
You just go and sing.
Yeah, you walk in, it's free. It's just
right. And then sometimes we're like, well, what's my purpose? What's my calling? And I think sometimes we make it so deep, like we need this revelation moment of, it needs to come in a puff of smoke, and like we're out of the smoke, then on the mirror you look and it says, you are a baker. Do you know what I mean? No. Like, what do you love? What makes you happy?
What makes you want to wake up in the morning and just...
What do you love doing?
That's exactly what it is.
Start there. And so I said something like this in this interview, and this lady took the time to message me. And she said her little girl's just started full-time school. And she's been feeling like, what do I do now? And she said she knows exactly what she would like to do. But I guess that conversation, or her hearing that interview, gave her the nudge to say,
go and do it.
Just do it. Do it. Like, you don't wait. And I thought, what a wonderful thing for her to message me and give me that, to say that something I said gave her the nudge. Here I am doing these interviews based on my nudge.
Yeah.
And now I'm just passing on the nudge. But you know
maybe that's purpose and legacy together.
I don't know what it is, sis, but I just thought, what a gift for her to give that back to me. That my interview had something I said had a positive impact on someone.
Yeah.
So that lets me know, wow, that was worth me doing.
See?
It was important to do. And so I hope with this that, you know, we've been here and we've been having a giggle, but we've shared some truth and some light and some love, and that for someone listening, that it's going to find someone, it's going to find that person that needs this.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean?
It's going to change their life.
So how great that you know, you've created this platform.
I just love people. I think in life, when you learn to embrace people with no filter, with no judgment, with compassion and kindness, and you realize what your ambient gift is in life, and you, like you say, you run with it.
And you're here giving me sharing your platform with me, which is a blessing.
You're doing the same. You're sharing your story,
and we're just sending it out.
There you go. So that's how it works. So I'll say to everyone else out there, if you have something that you love doing, don't let anybody else stop you. Everyone will always have an opinion, but their opinion is not final. Your opinion is final. So go and do what you love, because I don't want anyone in the world to go around and, you know, later on in life say, what if I did try that and you didn't? I want you to go out in the world and say, I tried it, I did it, I conquered it, and I done the best that I could at it. And look what happened.
Yeah.
That's what I want to happen.
And even if it doesn't work out the way that you hope, right, there'll be a lesson. And then you'll take that and then you'll apply it, and then you'll move on to the next stage. Do you understand? Or you'll start again with experience.
There you go.
You would have gained knowledge, even if that experience and the knowledge is what not to do.
Yeah, that's true. We all have one of those experiences.
Lesson.
See?
Valuable lesson.
See, this is what I love. So before I have the blessing and the chance to say thank you for coming on the show, I would love for everyone to be able to find you. If you would like people to contact you, interact with you.
Don't contact me. Don't interact. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No. Please do. That would be wonderful. And just go to the socials. Go to my Instagram, because Instagram is good and it's fun. And this, like, I love to have a bit of fun on Instagram. So go to Mish John, MEESH, Mish John. And also, please, like, check out my music, because as I said, I really believe that there's a song on there for someone.
Yeah.
And you don't have to love gospel music, right? But we all need some positivity at some point.
That's true.
We all need something to feel good. So if you just need something positive, if you like to bop, I've got a couple of bops on there.
That's me.
And just check out what I'm doing. Go to Spotify. As I said, like, you know, go to my website. For people that love vinyl, I did the album. It's on vinyl. It's on CD. For those of us that are old school, that are old school, right? You can go to Apple Music. You can go to, as I said, Spotify, all of them, and just do your thing and just enjoy. Be blessed. Don't be selfish. Share it with someone. Bless somebody. And let's just be blessed together, man. Seriously. Sure.
Michelle, I want to say thank you so much for your laughter, your compassion and kindness, your energy.
Get your t-shirt. God is. Okay?
You know, okay, I want one. Yeah, I'm gonna get one.
Send us the details, and we're going to bless you up.
Okay, cool. That's it. Hear that, guys? I'm gonna get blessed up, right?
But you got to be wearing it. I need to see you. I need
no. What? I want to be wearing selfies with my dungaree. I wear dungarees.
Yes,
I am a dungarees girl, and my dungarees have my name on it, so it will be.
Love it.
God is up here, and then Savia Rocks all the way down.
I love it. Yeah,
we're doing well. We're doing good. You know.
I love it.
Michelle, thank you so much for taking your time to come.
Amazing.
Michelle, you've been absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Bless you, girl. And listen, success in everything you do.
And right back at you.
Thank you, man.
Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching and listening to the Us People Show. And please remember, you can leave us a comment and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, or any other platform that you prefer listening to. Please also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can also connect with Savia Rocks every Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time on Apple TV, Fire TV, Freeview Channel 271, YouTube, LCBN, and LCBNTV.com every Mondays, or well, Wednesdays now, I should say, at Heart Songs Live at 9 p.m. And this is where I say, listen to the Us People podcast every Tuesday. And finally, I want to say thank you so much for listening again. Stay happy, stay positive, and as always, please continue to be kind to one another. Take care, guys.